What's up, Rad Dads, and welcome back to another episode of the Rad Dads podcast, hosted by none other than the two raddest dads on the East Coast. I am Rob.
And I am Sal.
Yes, hi, Sal.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Oh, you did it. Your ass.
I wanted to see what your response was, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Are we re-recording this?
No, let it roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. We only
all
had
right.
3 outtakes before that.
That was the third outtake. That was the third take, and I got him.
Last time I called him out on it.
Yes.
The last time it was on accident. This
That was
time it was on
pretty
purpose.
funny.
All right, Sal, what are we talking about tonight?
I don't know, Rob. A whole bunch of things. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, just kidding. I thought we should talk about vacationing with friends and family. How does that go?
Oh, I like that topic. That's a great topic. Which one are we starting with? Family or friends?
Let's start with the one that starts with the F. Start with family.
I mean, I'm doing both this year, so
Yeah, look at it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, where are you going with the family?
Bahamas.
Oh, very
Yep.
nice.
So family is a tough one because I think it depends on the arrangement. My suggestion is if you're going with family, everyone get their own room. Don't rent a house. I think it gives you a little bit of space where needed, especially since with family, at least in my family and some other families I know, is a lot of like the cousins aren't exactly the same age. So there's different interests.
Right.
So my kids are a little bit older than all their cousins. So they have different interests. They're not interested in maybe one or two of their
Barbies.
cousins. Yeah, playing with and they're also the only two. Well, there's a third cousin who's a boy, but they're much older than him.
See, I have this uncanny ability to just whatever the situation is, just have a good time. I check everything at the door. So if we're renting a house together, I leave everything at the door. Not like my luggage and shit, but egos and
And his pants.
my pants. Yes, I strut my stuff in my banana hammock.
That's why he doesn't care.
I do the helicopter all day.
He's hanging out with his wang out.
I'm there to have a good time. Let's have fun. If we're renting a house together, which I've never done with my entire immediate family, we've been trying to nail down a trip down to the Outer Banks, and it just gets, one thing leads to another, and we can't make it this year. And
Are the cousins the same age?
yes, for the most, my brother's kids, the twins are 9, they're 10, they're Emily's, no, they're 11. And then I got a nephew who's going to turn 3 soon. We constantly talk about it. It just never happens. I'd like to let it happen because I think it would be fun. But like I said, I can check my shit at the door and just be present that time. I don't care what happened last week. I don't care what happened last year.
That's me and the norm.
We're here today. Let's have a good time. Let's drink. Let's just enjoy where we are.
That's my normal take on life. Is
You have
what
to.
happened yesterday? I don't give a fuck.
It's
You
yesterday.
move
It's
forward.
done.
Yeah, you move forward. And I think, with most people, they do hold grudges. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I could care less what happened yesterday.
But just think about it. If you're holding the grudge, who do you think that grudge is hurting?
All right.
You.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's causing stress. You're causing stress for yourself. For what? That other person, they probably even forgot what happened. So that grudge does nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, especially with family, it's like everything's water under the bridge. I don't really hold anything with family. Family's a little bit different. I'm just saying, like, I guess it depends on the accommodations as well. If you're going to Outer Banks, some of those houses are enormous. You could literally have one family and you wouldn't see the other family for like a day or two. Like, they're that big.
Yeah, no, they are. They are
So,
humongous.
that's one thing. But I was thinking more of like Ocean City, New Jersey, where the houses are a little bit smaller
Yes.
and you're on top of each other.
No, that's bad. That you'd be in everybody's shit. You would need something big enough to house. I guess it all depends on how many families you want to vacation with.
Yeah.
But if
I think going with the in-laws or the parents, I think I've always been okay with that. My mom came to Disney World with us, and they didn't come with us. They came at the same time as us. They had their own place. They were there for 2 days or 3 days and then left. So we were there a couple days before they got there. They stayed a couple days and then they left,
That's cool.
just so they could see the kids in Disney and
Yeah.
wanted to be part of the experience.
Very cool.
So that was great. It was a perfect, like, just to drop in, drop out. We've done a lot of trips with my mom down to Atlantic City, and the kids think it's like fantastic. They think it's the best thing in the world because they get to go to the pool and all before COVID, but we'll step it up now.
Teaching your kids to be gamblers, are you?
No, they don't ever see the casino.
So the last time I was on a plane with my parents, it was actually for my nephew, who I'm his godfather, for his christening. We went down to Florida. My sister christened her son in Florida. And before that, dude, I can't remember the last time I was in a plane with my parents. That's how long it's been. That was like, shit, 2 years ago. And then prior to that, no idea. I don't think I've ever been on a plane with my parents.
I haven't.
Well, when we went to Venezuela, when I was a kid.
I haven't in a very
That's
long
pretty
time.
cool.
Probably, well, that's not true. So my parents are divorced, but I went with my dad when my son was, actually, that's not true. We weren't on the same flight either. But we went to the Bahamas when my son was 2, when Nico was 2, so 9 years ago. So before Mikey was
cool,
born.
man.
Yeah.
So some things to consider when vacationing with family, and I think this translates to, or goes for friends as well, is obviously make sure you guys like each other. Make sure that relatives and everybody's cool with each other.
Yeah.
Talk money if you guys are going to be staying at the same place.
So this is what makes and breaks everything right
Money,
here.
money.
Money. So
Plata.
my 2 cents based on
Boom,
experience.
ching.
Based on experience. It's above. This is SOB's trombone. My 2 cents. When you set up the housing, whoever sets it up, make sure they get paid before you head there, right? Number one, right? Number one rule.
No pay, no play.
No pay, no play. But also, it also depends. If you're shelling out like $1,000 for the accommodation, that's one thing. If you're going to the Outer Banks, you're shelling out probably like $10,000.
Oh yeah.
So
Mucho
it's
dinero.
a different a different quantity. So if it's more, you definitely need to be on top of it. As soon as they pay for it, you should pay for it and not be hemming and hawing. Once you agree you're going, and don't be a dick.
Yes,
Right.
there's no
no backing
back.
out.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying, and if something were to happen, you're still paying. Like,
So wait, what happened? So they pay regardless, even if there's like an emergency. Like,
so let me ask you a question. If you paid for your brother and your sister to go,
oh, they're paying me.
they're paying.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be stuck
you're
with the
right.
bill.
You're right.
If there's an emergency and it impacts the whole family, that's
Sure,
a different story.
Yep. You try if it turns out that no one can go, then you try to get whatever money.
whatever you can get back and split it amongst yourselves. But I think the accommodations, paying up front, or figuring out a way that everyone pays simultaneously is the right way to do it. 2, I think the biggest thing that ends up happening. So if you rent a house, everyone comes down with food, like so much food.
Yes.
And
Well, at least you hope. That's something that's got to be discussed.
we've been going with another couple, another family, skiing for the past couple of years, and literally we always end up with a ton of food, like chips, like
okay,
snack food,
brought from around here.
Yeah, snack food and breakfast. Breakfast is always the thing. So we always bring breakfast. Everything else is eaten out.
So do you alternate who cooks? Oh wait, do you stay in one house?
Stay in one house.
Oh, okay.
So whoever cooks. Sometimes one person brings the eggs, one person brings the meat, and then people bring cereal and whatever. But it's a lot of food. So there's always a ton of food. There's always, we ended up with, I don't even know how this happened, like 5 different things of Oreos last time. I was like, does anybody talk to one another? Like, you both brought
but
like
that's,
2.
That's the problem right there. There's no communication, and that's sometimes.
That was the one.
So wait, do you have breakfast, and breakfast all day?
No, because if you're on the mountain all day, you're not leaving the mountain to go
cook breakfast,
to go cook anything. And you're on vacation. You don't want to cook.
Yeah.
Like, that's my big thing. Like, if we're on vacation, I'm not there to cook, and I don't expect anybody to cook for me.
Right.
I'd rather just go and pay.
No, I don't blame you, man, because then there's the cleanup and
like breakfast was enough for the day that everyone was like, all right, now we'll go enjoy ourselves. But the other thing is, so it's one, coordinating, to your point, coordinating what you bring for the house, right, for food. And then two, when it comes to meals. So meals are always tricky, right? If it's two couples, it's not a big deal. You just split it down the middle. Not a big deal. Once it gets above two, and this is the other thing, if it gets above two families, where are you eating dinner? Because
who's going to accommodate that size of a group?
Who's going to accommodate that size of a group? And then how are you paying? Are you just splitting three? Because you can't say, oh, my family just ate this, because that's not how it's going to work with kids.
Well, I agree, but then sometimes there's that, okay, the two families are 4 each, so 8, and then maybe that third family is 5.
Fucking Minervinis.
So, and then,
but that's like for me, like if like to be honest, and I'm maybe I'm a little bit more generous, but if we're going with you guys, you're still splitting the bill. It's all right. I'll make it up in drinking.
We're one more.
Fuck cares? Like I don't care.
I can't. I don't want to feel like we're gonna split the bill, but I don't want to feel like that I'm trying to get over on anybody because I'm one more.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I probably feel the same way, but at the same point, you're talking about a kid's meal, like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and my kids don't order from the kids section.
Yeah, neither do mine. Well, the younger guy does. The older guy orders the most expensive thing on the menu.
I'll take surf and turf, please.
Yeah, for 1,000, Alex.
Make that 2 lobsters.
But I think that's a good call out, Sal. So if you're a family of 5, or you're a bigger family, even a family of 4 with a family of 3, you should talk with the other family and just say, listen, we'd like to pay, proportionally more. And they're going to tell you, go fuck yourself. Well, most friends would. Because that's just my mentality. I know my wife's would be the same way, but, we know you're not trying to take advantage. Don't worry. I'll make it up in what I drink for bourbon. It's good. It's all good. But that's the other thing. So that's perfect example. The other family we go on vacation with, they drink beer and they drink some mixed drinks. I drink bourbon, exclusively bourbon. So if I go out,
he goes for the top shelf when he goes out.
A beer's $3, $4, whatever. If you're up at Stratton, it's probably like $8. But a bourbon's like 15. So, if I have 2 bourbons, that's a significant price on that. So I don't feel bad when I do that, but at the same time, sometimes I just don't drink during meals, and I wait until we get home. I don't need to drink during a meal. So, but I think that's a fair call.
So my wife, when my kids were younger, she wouldn't order a meal. And I was like, what are you doing? Well, our kids aren't going to eat the food. I said, just order a damn meal. Or just, you know what? I'll eat their leftovers. Because my wife, she likes to order, we go to a restaurant, she wants to order something that she likes. She doesn't want to pick on the kids' food. And now I'm just a human garbage pail. So I just eat whatever my kids don't eat.
It's like this weekend, we ordered from an Italian restaurant nearby. And she calls Mikey, and she's like, Mikey, like, you want ravioli? We're all getting pasta. Like, I'll get you, split pasta with your brother, and then because it's getting expensive. He's like, no, I want ravioli, and I started laughing. I was like, fine, don't, because I wanted a steak. I was like, don't give me my steak. Give me something else, like a chicken, like which is probably like half the price or whatever.
You think?
So text me.
Not nowadays.
Text her, and she goes, I already ordered your steak. And I was like, well, I tried to give in. Like, I did all I could. But
some other things to consider when vacationing with family and friends too, man. Don't be lazy. If let's say it happens to be a rainy day and you guys are stuck in the house, don't just be a fucking lump on a log. Engage in some conversation.
Yeah, so it's funny because when we go, and we've only really gone on vacation with this other family. When we go, the kids go and do whatever. Like all 4 kids, they run around.
So here, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Since you've been on vacation with the same family, in the event there's a situation between little ones, do the big ones get involved, like adults, or do you let them hash it out and figure it out?
Figure it out.
All right.
I would say I think one of the big things is what you already called out is communication. 2 is money, making sure that both families understand what's going to happen. And that's always tricky. It's always a really hard conversation, especially with good friends. But just bite the bullet and say, be like, if it's 4 and 4 and, you know, it's even just say, hey, we're going to split everything. You know, don't. I think one of the things is I have friends and I do this too. I'll go and pay the whole bill. I don't care because I know they're going to pick up the next bill.
Right.
But that's not always, it doesn't always equal out. And sometimes it's just easier just to split it and be. But if you have that friend who does that, then just.
Like, I get this one, you get the next one.
It's almost same thing you said earlier. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not there to, I'm a very go with the flow person. I'm also going to make sure that we're not equal to the dollar, but
no, yeah,
you know, it goes back and forth, right?
Sure. It's balanced.
And then I think the other thing is, you know, making sure you have the right dynamic. Like, or do your kids get along? Because that's the most important thing.
Sure, of course.
And you know, it's going with a group that where at night you can socialize, the adults, and the kids can socialize. My kids go to bed at like 9 o'clock, but when we're on 8:30 typically, but when we're on vacation, they're going to bed at 10. And it's like,
wow.
Yeah. Once 9 o'clock hits, like the whining starts and it's down. Like one time Mikey just passed out in his, like I went upstairs to go check on him. He was passed out. Like, I was like, I knew that was going to happen. And I know one of the other kids from the other family, they actually sleep until like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
Ooh, that's my oldest.
Which doesn't work with my boys because they're up at like 5:30. No matter what time they go to bed.
Let's go.
Yeah. So then there was the whole conversation about, guys, if you're up, you can't make noise. So, and this time the house was a little bit smaller, though it was still nice. It was just a little bit smaller. So if the kids got up early, everyone heard them.
Right.
And then there was bunk beds. So kids were jumping off bunk beds.
So now all the kids were in one room?
This time they were.
Okay.
Actually, this is the second year in a row we did this. The first trip, people got scared. There was they were calling there was a scissor man in the house. So it was like one kid got scared, then
oh boy.
Yeah. And then,
would they see a shadow or something?
Yeah, something. Or something made a noise, and then it was all bets were off and I was out. Again, it's, you know, making sure you have the right dynamic to go. I would say like a place like the Outer Banks or some of the other places where there's these large houses. As long as like there's a good dynamic, a good core, you can get away with having a family that you don't really get along with, or an in-law, or, you know, a brother or sister you don't get along with, and really see them as they come and go because the houses are enormous.
But I mean, alcohol could take care of that.
True. But there's some beautiful houses down there, and I know we have friends who go to the Outer Banks all the time, and they rent a huge house and like have a great time. I want to do it, but there's, you know, the one beach we go to, my wife's not that I've been to, my wife's not a big fan of it because you have to drive in and drive out of the island.
The beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool, but if there's like a storm, and it never happened to my knowledge.
If there's a storm, you stay in the house.
But if you're cut off from the mainland, like that's like, it doesn't bother me, but
I mean, it would have to be a
significant storm.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're watching the weather, and if they're saying, hey, there's a hurricane coming up, then you reconsider your trip down to the Outer Banks.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I also think one other thing. Now, what do you think about setting an itinerary?
Oh, so this is a good one. I think that's tough. I think when you go skiing, it's pretty easy. You're going skiing. But if you're like I'm going to the Bahamas with my dad and his family and our family, I've been to the Bahamas probably 15 times, maybe more than that. My kids have gone there once and probably really don't even remember it. So they're going to want to do stuff that they haven't done before. But again, like, it's all going to be around the pool. So it doesn't, you know, they want to go on the slides or the lazy river. That's all cool. But
see, I can see something like the Bahamas. You're going to an island and that's what it's about. Just hanging out by the pool.
But if you're going to a place like Vegas, where there's like Hoover Dam, you go to Bryce Canyon, Zion Canyon, you could go to all these different places. Yeah, you can figure out an itinerary, but
the Bunny Ranch.
I don't think that's family friendly. Just saying.
Wait, I thought it was about bunnies.
Well, some people want to go to the pawn shop too, right? Because that's the
porn.
Pawn.
A pawn shop.
Pawn shop. Or, you know, there's a whole bunch of different like TV shows that have been set up in Vegas. So there's people want to go
old Vegas.
There's the old Vegas. There's Circus, which is really cool for kids. So
Stratosphere, you got to do the Stratosphere.
Yeah,
that's fucking.
You do the roller coaster
wild.
on top of.
I did it.
Stratosphere.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Cool. There's a zip line through like Caesars, like right through that mall.
That's awesome.
So there's a lot of stuff you can do, but it doesn't mean every family's going to want to do it.
So do you or don't you set an itinerary or an attempt to set an itinerary.
I think it depends on the families you're going.
Especially if it's somewhere like Vegas.
I think it depends on the families that are going. Like, I know my kids can sit by the pool all day, even though I have a redhead. Like, the 3 boys can sit by the pool all day. Kachetta not so much, but it's true, and we'd be happy with it. So, it's vacation. That's what they like to do. So, but when we went to Boston, dragged everybody to the different events. So we went to Tea Party, and then we went to the aquarium, and then we went to Little Italy. What's the other place? We went to the marketplace, whatever that is. I forget the name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Quincy Square.
Yeah, Quincy Square. So we made sure we went and saw those things, and the kids were having it on. They'd rather sit at the pool the whole day, which is fine. I get it. That's what you like to do as a kid. I think you play it by ear because I think it depends on the families you're going with.
So the number one thing when wanting to vacation with either friends or family is make sure that everybody likes each other or has a cordial relationship.
I think that's fair.
If they don't, you're gonna find out it's gonna be a shitty time for all.
Yeah, I don't think
the kids are gonna be like, what the hell's wrong with the adults?
I don't think you interject a family who doesn't work in your group, right? If you have a group of friends who typically hang out together, families, you don't introduce like a third family or a fourth family who doesn't really hang out with you because that's gonna make it weird.
You don't put a cog in the wheel.
You don't put a cog in the wheel, especially when you're on vacation. You're spending a decent amount of money.
Yeah, you spend a lot of money. You want to.
If you want to introduce a cog,
yeah,
you do it when you're home,
not on vacation.
No.
Oh my God! But it is definitely a challenge. But if you can work through all the challenges and you can check your ego, in the car or at the door, if you're going to be renting a house together, it's all about enjoying your time with the family and the people you're with. And creating memories, man. It's what it's about, is just making the memories. Something that your kids can reflect back on, 10 years from now. Hey, remember when we went to wherever with so-and-so and, little Johnny fell face planted in the slide. It's just about making memories.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? When I was growing up, and I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, we didn't go on vacation with friends. We went on vacation with family. But we never went on vacation with friends. No other couple. My mom has 3 sisters. So we always went with two of the sisters, either Atlantic City or Vegas. Those were the 2 big places we ended up going. See the theme here. So
yeah, I see that. The 2 biggest gambling cities.
Yeah, but the kids had an awesome time. We used to play basketball, go swimming. It was awesome. But it's, we never did that we did that with my cousins. I have a good relationship with some of my cousins, other ones I haven't talked to in years. But I think it's cool that we're introducing because my kids don't have cousins around their age. So that's a big thing too, right? Because we can't go on vacation if I have a teenager and they have like a 10-year-old. It's not going to work. So I like that my kids have friends where the older and the youngest are also friends with the oldest and youngest. And that works.
Right.
If you don't have that dynamic, it throws everything off. So
sure, no, of course. Whoa.
So before we get to our favorite portion of the episode, we will cover the dad lesson. So the dad lesson for tonight is when on vacation with friends or family, split the bills. Dad, don't listen to this episode because you're still paying for the bills in the Bahamas. So split the meal bills evenly across the families that come. I don't give a fuck if you have 5 people and we have 4. You still split it. It's just fair. It'll work out in the end. It's not going to make or break anybody.
Splitting the bill.
So I think splitting the bill is the right way to go.
Yes, I agree 100%.
It just makes everything easier. That is the dad lesson. I'm happy to announce we have a new sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Weber Home and Business. Weber Home and Business was established in 2021 with one clear mission: establish a safe, healthy environment in your home, school, or workplace With over 12 years of experience, environmental remediation and restoration industry, their staff of certified mold inspectors will be sure to provide thorough inspections, detailed protocols, expert knowledge, and professionalism in each and every client. Call Weber Home and Business at 551-502-1052 for mold inspections, air samples, air quality assessments, or water intrusion. And an IICRC certified, whatever that means, will be happy to walk you through the process. They work with insurance companies, real estate agents, so give them a call and get it better with Weber. Again, that's 551-502-1052. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. What do we got, Sal?
Tonight we have Copper Fox Original Rye. So it is alcohol classification is a rye whiskey. Distillery is Copper Fox from Williamsburg, Virginia, not to be mistaken for vagina. Proof is 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume. Don't know the age. Filtration is non-chilled. They mentioned it a few times on their bottle. Batch size is undisclosed. Mash bill is 2/3 rye, 1/3 barley, hand malted. Color is copper. Price $45 to $65. Copper Fox is the only distillery to mature their whiskey with toasted apple wood. This process further develops and enhances the flavor of the smoking malt, resulting in a complex and singular flavor experience. All of their grains are grown locally by one farmer, and their 6-row thoroughbred barley was developed for them at Virginia Tech. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So how do you develop a grain? How do you change the characteristics of a grain?
Have you watched the Neat episode on Hulu?
No.
So
I don't have Hulu.
So they talk about
It's called Neat?
Yeah, it's called Neat. So they talk about how the future of bourbon is really in like they're scientists and they can change the DNA of
grains.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Like when I was reading up on this, it says the grain was developed for them. Like, how do you develop a grain from a grain?
Yeah.
Like you crossbreed grains. I don't know, but I thought that was pretty cool. They floor malt the barley in the traditional style, which allows them to develop and maintain a connection to their grain throughout the entire production process. I thought it was, I think it's an interesting bottle. Nose and aroma, I mean, as soon as you pop it, it smells peaty, but if it hits the oxygen for a little bit, if you let it breathe, the peatiness kind of subsided, getting a little caramel.
So I think the reason this may be very peaty is because he was an apprentice in Scotland.
I did read up that he went to Scotland, went to like 130 distilleries and brought back the knowledge that he gathered from those distilleries.
Yeah, so he was he apprenticed under a Scottish master distiller, and that essentially kindled his flame to become a distiller.
It's definitely an interesting bottle. It's made in Virginia. I picked it up when I went down to Williamsburg with the family. But it's surprising, he labels it a rye, but it's got that peatiness aroma, and
it's definitely very Scotchy.
I'm getting a little bit of caramel. I don't get the applewood. Oh, you know what? I didn't smell the dry glass.
It smells peaty.
Peaty?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely on the peaty side. I don't get the applewood. Although I do think it's interesting. I know Iron Smoke, they use applewood smoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So aroma, you got the peatiness like a Scotch, caramel, tasting notes. Always taste our bourbons neat. It's got, oh wow, I just got a smoky taste.
So were you looking at the rating for this?
It kind of mellows out after the third glass. I'm not a fan. Too peaty for me. I mean, it's not overbearing.
I think this would resonate with Scotch drinkers.
I'd be interested to pour a glass for a Scotch drinker and see what they say. Not even show them the label saying it's a rye. I'd just like to pour it for them and get their thoughts.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a big fan.
So I don't like the price. Do you say the price?
Yeah, the price, it kind of, I don't
Like
remember.
50-ish?
I don't remember what I paid for when I was down there. It's 45 to 65. I looked it up online, and the price is like, it's a huge difference, 45 to 65.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it a 1 in that. Tasted a little bit. It's not bad if I was looking for a scotch, but if I was looking for a scotch, I'd probably go with my favorite, Monkey Shoulder. I think the smell is pretty harsh, so I'm gonna skip over taste for a second. I think the smell is pretty harsh. I think I'm gonna give it a 1 there too, because all I'm picking up is really the peatiness. Yeah. I don't even get any undertones, because even in the dry glass, I'm not getting an undertone, and I don't love the taste. So I'm gonna give it. I don't hate the taste though. It's not that bad, the taste, but the aroma is really not there. I'm gonna give it a. I don't know if I want to give it a 1.5 or a 2. I'm going to go 1.5 on taste. So I'm going to go with 3.5.
Wow, 3.5.
Yeah.
So look, guys, don't get us wrong. I say this every.
We are the experts. Your palates suck.
I say this every so often. Everybody's palate is different. What I like is very different than what Rob likes or what you guys like. So I mean, I'm just telling you my opinion of Copper Fox. I'm not a big Scotch guy. It's
if you like Scotch, give it a try.
Yeah,
be honest, because it has the peatiness there, and I think it's warranted in the background of the distiller, and they call it out. If you like Scotch, I don't think it's just a little too peaty. If it was a little less peaty, I may actually enjoy it.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of if you're a Scotch guy, don't be afraid of the label that it says rye. It's definitely on the Scotch spectrum on the flavor, definitely. So. Like I said, everybody's palate's different. We tell you what we think, and I think, Rob, that might be, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Rad Dads podcast. Tune in next time for another episode and another crazy outing and a delicious bourbon.
We out.